Now, this person, they are not as detached as they want you to believe. Something has been happening behind the silence, and one realization is making it much harder for them to stay quiet, because they definitely want to take the leap of faith with the full energy. And Three of Pentacles, they want to put efforts. Now they are about to break silence if at all you are in a no contact situation and work on this connection. What will happen next? We are going to check in this particular reading what we should expect to happen in this connection. As it looks like, I'm getting a stronger sense that someone has been holding back a message, but the biggest surprise is why they are holding it back. And there is a second piece here that I want you to stay for, because it changes how you should understand their silence completely. Right now, this person, this feels like a connection where the outside behavior and the inside emotions do not match, because this is somebody who walked away. This is a walking away energy. They may look detached, busy and stubborn, and may have accepted the separation, but underneath that there is some unfinished emotional business which is left. Something recently shifted in the way they see this particular connection, and if it feels like a realization rather than a sudden romantic feeling, I feel you may have noticed less effort or a strange silence here. But I feel your ego has changed. You're not giving them the same emotional access you once did justice. You're teaching them a lesson now. Indirectly, unintentionally. You may still care, but you are less willing to chase an answer. That creates a contradiction here. The less you reach towards them, the more aware they become of your absence. So, the question, what this the question that I'm getting, what exactly are they thinking when they are alone with this? Okay, their thoughts feel specific. They are replaying one particular incident, it seems, situation between you. It could be a conversation and an argument that happened, or a moment when they could have handled things in a better way. There is a feeling of, why do I do that? Why did I do that? Why did I not react in a different way? They may not admit regret. They are questioning whether their actions created the distance that now bothers them. Okay, now it definitely bothers them because they lost something which was stable. There is also an emotional trigger around imagining you moving forward here with the Six of Swords. They may wonder whether someone else has your attention, whether you have detached yourself from them. That is also one of the question. Whether you will even respond if they come back. Their hesitation feels like, less like lack of interest and more like uncertainty about your response. And here is the unexpected detail, is what I see. They may be checking indirectly rather than approaching directly over here. So looking at a social presence, revisiting old conversations, or finding reasons to check where you stand, maybe. It feels less about information and more about finding out whether the door is still open or not. And this, and if this is describing your situation, guys, just comment I am choosing clarity below, and I want to know who is experiencing this particular and such a strong shift here. Okay, and keep this reading open until the end, till the time you reach the end, because the reason behind the silence is not what it first appears to be. No, not my intuitions. It's my intuitions are saying no. Now, this changes something. The deeper issue does not look like another person being the main reason for the distance. The stronger energy over here is fear of rejection combined with pride. They may have convinced, you know, they may have convinced themselves that staying silent protects them from being vulnerable. Five of Pentacles, no doubt, they are feeling very lonely right now. Very lonely right now. But there is another layer over here that I see. They are beginning to realize that silence has consequences over here. Okay? Because that may need a permanent ending, the world. They may have expected you to keep waiting, keep checking, or eventually make the first move. Instead, your energy is becoming quieter now. Okay? Now, they thought, reverse, Eight of Wands in reverse, they thought that you will approach here, but you didn't. That is breaking. And that is making them feel very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. This is where the hidden feelings come through also. They are not only thinking about getting your attention, they are confronting the possibility that they mishandled something meaningful and they are feeling sorry about that. Page of Cups. There is guilt here, no doubt. Yes, there is guilt here, but not necessarily the dramatic kind of guilt. It feels more like private regret. I could have done this differently, maybe. They may also be hiding how effect, how much you are, or they are, probably they are affected, or they still are. They're hiding it undercover. I think they have come across some sort of shared memory on their phone. Because Empress, all of a sudden they see your glow up, your value. There is something they want to say, but they are editing it before it ever reaches you. Like they may be typing something on their phone, like, hey, would not address the real issue, while a serious conversation could expose feelings they have been trying to control. So they are in a way stuck between wanting to contact you and fearing what contact would require, because definitely I see an apology. Okay, I see an apology. They want to apologize, and your energy is different now. You are tired of decoding silence. You are starting to understand that someone's feelings and someone's ability to act on those feelings are two different things. And that realization a, is actually powerful in this reading over here, because it removes you from the waiting position. And trust me, that shift may be exactly what forces the other person to confront their own behavior. As for what happens next, the strongest possibility I am seeing is movement after a period of hesitation. Okay, there is going to be a movement after a period of hesitation. This could be communication, an attempt to reopen conversation, or some indirect sign that they are testing the waters first. And you will receive the communication or this sign within next 3 hours of watching this particular video. They are going to be checking the emotional temperature, and I would not treat that as a guaranteed reconciliation. The important part is that the energy is moving away from passive observation and towards some form of decision. Okay, because I see Queen of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles here, something which is going to be permanent this time, something this person has actually worked upon themselves and they are coming as a different person. Timing feels closer, like 3 hours rather than distant. So watch for the next 3 hours, and for very few set of people can be 3 days, for a change in tone, an unexpected message or a situation that gives this person a reason to approach. Actually, they will approach you. And remember the two things we started with in the beginning of this particular video. First, the silence does not appear to tell the whole story. The hidden issue is not simply that they stopped caring, it is that they are wrestling with regret, okay, pride, and the fear that you may no longer respond the way once you did. Okay, you may no longer do that, because see, five of swords over here tells me that, you know, they see you as somebody who may have left hope in this connection. All right, and the second bigger surprise is your changing energy, because from this passion itself I've received reversal, Ace of Wands. You are not feeling that passionate and they can sense that energy. You are in that healing place, you are not at the same place emotionally, and they can sense that the connection may be forcing them to decide whether they are willing to risk vulnerability instead of hiding behind silence. So if this reading resonated, like the video, subscribe so you don't miss the next reading. Hit the notification bell as well, guys. 80%, I was surprised to see the stats, the analytics. 80% of viewers watching it haven't subscribed to my channel, and please go ahead and do so. And if you are a member, check your membership perks for early access to my readings. If you are not, then become a member. You will get early access to all my readings. And the strongest message here is simple: the silence may be changing because you are no longer feeding it. What happens depends on whether they finally choose honesty over pride or not. Comment I claim in the comment section. And I do take personal readings and spell works as well. And for this particular reading, I would suggest go for the 7 days love obsession spell work. Trust me, my spell works do wonders. And if that is not going to help you out, nothing else is going to. And tell me honestly whether they reached out today, in next 3 hours or not, or in the next 3 days or not. Okay, the conversation or any sign that you received, or would you need them to prove their intentions first, or you would like to have this conversation with them. So what exactly, words versus action, what you want them to approach you with. So thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye bye.